Welcome back to Lights, Camera, Whatever. This is Teacher Ray here, and we are jumping into episode 7 of Imperfect Us. That's right, Imperfect Us. So you know what we do? We're going to jump into the description first, and let's do it. As if she's woken from a dream, Qing Fen has gained enlightenment after messing up her life. If she and Rebecca are two entangling particles, giving away some hints here, then she would want Rebecca to live well. She goes around asking after Rebecca. Finally, she hears about their romance from Yu Xiang Li. Qing Fen is caught up in their love story, unsure if she's happy for Rebecca or for herself. So she decides to look for an answer. Another touching episode. I do agree. I am not promoting, but it was quite touching. Question 1. Now, I didn't really know this word, and some of you Americans out there or native speakers probably didn't know this word. Quantum entanglement. Now, we all heard this word entanglement because of the whole controversy with Will Smith and his wife. The word entanglement last year was like the most searched word on Google last year because of that particular episode of Red Table, I think it was called. But this question is titled, Do You Believe in Quantum Entanglement? So I got to read a little bit more description. Sorry about that, but I have to kind of, lay the ground here. So I'm going to tell you what quantum entanglement is. So when I talk about it, you will know. When two particles link together in a certain way, no matter how far apart they are in space, I think you guys are getting the point of why I mention this. In this view, entangled relationships encompass more than just physical proximity. They involve a deep and profound connection that transcends the limitations of time and space. If you and your partner don't have this, something's wrong. And I'm just going to be very blunt and very frank, right? And I'm sorry, whoever's name is Frank. Frank is a bad meaning. I'm sorry. I'm going to be very frank about this. This is something you should be searching for in your relationship. You should be searching for this quantum entanglement because sometimes this is life, guys. Think about this, guys. I want you to, and I have to tell myself this. I want you to think very clearly about what I'm about to say. If you want a successful partner, they will have to travel and be away from you to gain that success. That doesn't mean they're going to be away all the time. It may be temporary. It might have business trips, business dinner, but that doesn't mean they're not in your heart and you are in their heart. You can't expect to grow and have a future home with someone. Now, if you're from a rich family, like I said, congrats, but I prefer when two people build wealth together. It means more, right? Just because they're not with you as much as you want them to be, remember this, guys, remember this clearly. They had a life before you. They had a life before you. They were something before you. They were in a certain direction. Love is getting into their flow, keeping your flow, and creating a new balance, creating a new stream of love, a new stream of future. That's what I think how the future of love should be. So if you're with a person right now and you can't get on the same page about the future direction, it could be about money, it could be about kids, and it's just not working, go away, run away. Because when the reality hits, it's just going to be fight after fight after fight. Now, if you are not trusting that your partner is, you're in their heart when they're away, or they're thinking about you when they're away, something's wrong. I don't think that's quantum entanglement. So it says here, it involves a deep and profound connection that transcends the limitations of time and space. After I learned this word, I was like, oh, I love it. Quantum entanglement, I'm all for it. I'm all about it. And sometimes in investment, we say, I'm all in. So think about that. Do you have or do you believe in quantum entanglement? And if you don't, please go research it. Number 2. Sorry, guys. I know. I have to ask these questions. I have to spike or pique your curiosity. Number 2, do you ever think about who your ex is currently dating? Actually, if you know me and if you're one of my students, I'm a very, very disciplined person. 6 a.m. in the gym every morning, healthy lifestyle, healthy diet. I love to get air. I cut off things that cause me stress immediately. And I, get away from things that, put me in certain mental, depressions, a state of mind, right? So thinking about my ex and who she's dating is unnecessary stress. It is very unnecessary to think about who your ex is currently dating. If they are your ex, and this is a RBZ English lesson, guys. Let me tell you something. When you say ex, foreigners, we always think ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend. So when you're talking about your previous boss or employer or coworker, try to use the word previous, because once you say ex, we think of one thing. That's just a little quick lesson for you. Now, I don't think about my ex. Even I don't think about my ex-wife. I don't care who she's dating as long as they're not trying to be a dad to my kids. Like, I don't really care. She could date whoever she wants because it's not my business. We are officially divorced. But there's an attachment between us called 3 kids who have a future who need both of us. So we're doing our best. And I've done my best to be friends with her, even though we're not together. But for my ex-exes, we have literally no attachment. Why would I think about who they're dating? And I'm not, not to be mean, but sometimes you go back and Facebook is Facebook, Instagram, right? You know how it is, right? They pop up. You don't even search for them. They pop up because they're a friend of one of your friends who's still friends with them, right? And then you look and you're like, yeah, I'm glad I'm not with them right now. Because some people in English, we say fail off. They've given up. They're not the same person. They're not that same beautiful, handsome person as they were when you were together or in high school, whatever. And so for me, out of all these times I've seen like these old pictures, I'm just like, no, I don't care who they're dating anymore. First of all, because it's the past. You can't go back. I'm a person who really believes in you can't go back. So do you, the audience, ever think about who your ex is currently dating? Number 3, could you continue living in the same house you divorced in? If I bought that house, absolutely yes. But bringing in a new woman, I'm a person like if I separate, I need time. I'm not going to just, yes, I could go out and, get another one, but I'm not that type of person, right? It's not the same. When you dive into love, it's love. But, if I purchased a house, if I rented a house, yeah, whatever. I'd lose the commission. In Chinese, we call it the yajin or whatever. I just move on. But if it's like you bought this house and you were heavily invested in this house by 30 years of mortgage, no, you're not going to get out of that house. It might be a weird feeling after you separate with your wife, or you get out of the house and leave it to your ex-wife and you're in another house. Now for me, the house is still in my name. So I would be fine going to another house and then, starting fresh, because when you've divorced in a house, there's probably a lot of bad memories in that house that you've accumulated with your ex-partner. So think about that. Could you continue living in the same house you divorced in if you purchased it or if you rented it? That's something I really want to know your opinion. I don't want to say too much. I really want to jump to the next one. What if someone is the one, but they don't realize it yet? Maybe in this situation, you should find a way, take some, interesting measures to make them feel like they're the one. If they don't realize they are the one, you need to take the right steps and the right method to make them feel like they're the one, right? You can't blame someone for not realizing they are the one if they just don't realize it. You can't force people to understand that they are the one. They have to feel it. And I think this is something we have to talk about, because a lot of times we expect people to understand. First of all, expectations hurt. You got to stop. Everything should be natural, and I really love to use the word more than natural, even if it's the same meaning. It has to be very organic, right? They should feel they are the one. But if they don't know, and if you're willing to give up because they don't know, then that's not the one for you, because you've given up too easily. But if you've tried and tried for years, I'm not talking about a couple months, I'm talking about a year or two, and you're still in the friend zone, move on, my friend. You are a friend. Now, I really want to talk, because this is another word I didn't know. It's called vanilla relationship. I had no idea what this was. I never even heard the term. What to do when you find out you're stuck in a vanilla relationship? So I'm going to read the definition. A vanilla relationship is one with all the traditional values in dating, such as commitment, trust, no kink, heterosexuality in most cases, monogamy, and anything usual. That's the definition I got from online. You can Google it yourself. Vanilla relationship. But actually, if you just kind of translate that to something more simple, it's just a boring relationship, right? There's nothing special. There's nothing new. Everything's exactly the same. When you make love, it's exactly the same. Maybe it's getting a little dry. No kink. Let me explain what kink is. Kink is like, maybe handcuffs and stuff like that and special things. We call that no kink. And the thing is that what happens when you're stuck in one? The problem is, like, a lot of the conversations in, more Asian countries are more taboo, right? So in English, in Chinese, they say bu hao yi. So you're a little bit embarrassed to discuss certain points with your partner because you think it might hurt their feelings and cause a ripple in your relationship. But when you find out you're stuck in a vanilla relationship, you need to step up. You got to step up, right? You got to step up. You got to speak. You're in the relationship. Guys, I want you to think of some very clear image in your mind. A ship, right? A boat. It's a relations on a ship. You determine whether the boat will keep going or it's going to be Titanic. It's all about you. It's a relationship. So you think about that very closely. Vanilla relationship. Boring, normal, average. Guys, I don't like mala, but you need to spice it up. You need to spice up your love, your relationship, do different things, travel to different places, try to cook even if it's terrible. Eat terrible food together, right? You know, blame each other. Say, you suck, you suck. Have fun, guys. Vanilla relationship is not what you want. Number 6, do you prefer someone to always be there when you need them? Or is it okay to miss them sometimes? Of course, you want them to always be there, but we have to be realistic. They can't be there all the time. And it hurts missing someone. But when you see them, jump at them, right? Kiss them, hug them, love them, squeeze a couple cheeks, all 4 cheeks, right? And just be happy to see them again. But if someone is there all the time, they lose value, right? They lose a lot of value because they're there all the time. So sometimes you got to take a break. Just because someone wants to go out with their friends or hang out and do different things, that doesn't mean they don't want to be with you. Guys, love sometimes needs a break. So do you, the audience, prefer someone to always be there when you need them, the exact moment, or is it okay to miss them sometimes? For me, I'm usually available to my partner, like whenever, like if a text, because my job is consulting. My schedule is very flexible. So I try to be available when I can. I know it's not right because it gives them too much, safety cushion. And you should make people miss you. But that's just who I am. I just like to be available. But I can't always be there all the time. You have to understand that. So missing someone is not a crime. Number 7. Guys, when you hear this one, please leave your comments. I want to know. What type of person are you when you get drunk? Number 1, Teacher Ray's alcohol tolerance is extremely high. Mount Everest high. Don't challenge me. You will lose. You will lose, and I'm telling you right now, you will lose. Unless you bring out some Mao Tai or some Galeong. If we drinking anything else, I'm going all night, round for round. But for me, if you really want to be my friend, let's have a coffee. I'm not a super big fan of getting drunk. I love to be right on the edge, the brim, B-R-I-M, new word for you, between tipsy and drunk. That floating zone, that middle area. Sometimes I call it the multiverse. For me, that's perfect. Drunk, no fun. I don't like it. I don't like to be drunk, even at my house. But what type of person am I, Teacher Ray? I'm super quiet. When I get drunk, I know, because I used to be a PR in a lounge bar in Taipei. It was an upscale lounge bar in Shinny area. And you have to drink if you're a PR, right? You have to drink. So I actually train my alcohol tolerance. And right now I can drink a lot and be absolutely normal and just be normal, right? But drunk, I trained myself from that time period to just be absolutely quiet and don't say something you regret. Because we say alcohol is a truth serum. A truth serum for Taiwanese is a liquid that spies will put in you, a jindia, a spy, and it will make you say the truth, right? That's what alcohol is. It gets the truth out. Trust me. Number 8, if your partner had breast cancer, would you still be attracted to her? If you are not attracted to your partner just because breast cancer, you suck, and I forgot to tell you that you suck. You should love them for who they are. That's one part of the body. You don't marry someone for their breast. Guys, don't be idiots. Guys, don't be idiots because a woman or your partner has breast cancer. That doesn't mean they're not attractive. Love them, take care of them, because if you leave them now, you're going to leave them anytime. So don't do that. Be a real man, right? Compliment them, take care of them. Sometimes you have to do a little white lies. It's okay to boost people's confidence. What's the crime in saying, oh, it's fine. You still look great. You still look beautiful. Does that hurt you? Did you die from saying that? So sometimes you have to kind of go the extra mile. Actually, it's like a couple feet, but for some people's ego, to give a compliment, you got to go an extra kilometer, a mile, or 10. But for some people, it's okay. And for the people that it's okay, those are the ones who make their partner feel happy because they're okay giving compliments. You look beautiful today. You look great today. Don't worry about this scar. Don't worry about it. Breast cancer is hard to avoid for some people. It's genetic. But that doesn't mean you need to leave them and move on. Now, I'm not going to spoil the show, but watch the show, see what happens. Number 9, please, guys, this is a very important question. Do you love because you are selfish or because you are really in love? Why I put the selfish part is because some people are, I said this many times in a lot of the shows, some people are loving just to fill the gap. That's it. And that's all. They need someone for their Instagram, their social media, or to silence their family at Chinese New Year. That's it. They're not looking for love. They just want you to fit the criteria. Basically, some people are looking at their potential partner as a check-off list. Don't do that. It will backfire. Trust me. Love someone to be in love with them. If you're loving them because they just fit the list, you are going down a 5-10 year path of hell because that's going to always backfire because you're not genuinely in love with them. You're in love with them to satisfy your demand and your need and your wants, but actually you really, really don't love them, right? You are being selfish. Oh, he's handsome. Okay, check. He has money, check. He said he will buy me a house, check. Okay, does he really want to, live in his entire life with me? I'm just going to put check because I don't want to know the truth. I'm going to turn a blind eye to the reality. And that's why the divorce rate is so high, not just in Taiwan, but many places around the world, because you're using men to fill the gap. You're using a woman to fill the gap. People are not gaps. They are there to be with you, to love you, to hold you, to be by your side. But if you're using people as a checkoff list, trust me, that list will be burned, tortured, and put in a shredder. And we know what the shredder does. When the shredder shreds the paper, you can't put it back together. You can tape it back together. But it's just like a china vase, right? You can tape it back together. It will never be the same. It would just be more vulnerable to be fragile and to be broken. So do you love because you're selfish? I hope you're shaking your head when you heard that. Or because you're really in love. Now, if you are in a relationship, that is vanilla relationship, or if you are in a relationship where you feel you're selfish, guys, it's okay. There's always time to change. I didn't say change the partner, change the dynamic. There is always a way and chance and opportunity. Change the dynamic. Now, we're going to talk about that next point. If your partner is not willing to discuss the transformation of the dynamic of your relationship, then they must go. I always say you have to have willingness and effort to keep a relationship floating on the top of the ocean. Remember, it's a relationship. You don't want it to sink, right? You got to work together. So if you've discussed this with your partner and they always have this disdain face, like, yo, Lila, again, right? And if you've tried to bring it to the table, okay, they didn't like it, you talking about it at the table. You tried to take it outside to a walk in the park, or when you guys are driving to work or on the high-speed train, and it's the same exact face. Trust me, if they're gonna reject this conversation at dinner, that's respectable. My mom always told my dad's a political scientist professor. She said no politics at the table. Totally understand. But what about taking a walk, taking a U-bike ride, right? Going on an HSR, high-speed train, or just genuinely taking a drive, and they still reject it? Something is in English, we say something is fishy about your relationship. This person is not even trying to discuss. Then trust me, you've got your answer. There's nothing to even ask. They're not looking for long-term, or they're just being selfish and you just fit the gap, basically. Number 10. Beyond making love, what are the simplicities of love that you need and want? For me, yes, I like to cuddle. I like to sometimes cuddle and do absolutely nothing. I don't really need you to check on me all day, but an occasional, like, how are you? Did you eat? What's up? Everything's going smooth today. Just want to let you know I miss you. These little things are okay for me. I don't need $1 million. It would be nice, but I didn't say that. Let me go back and delete that from the podcast. Who doesn't want $1 million? But the thing is that when you're talking about the simplicities, right, of love that you need and want, right? I want to cuddle, right? I want to cuddle, but I need to know that, we're together. I need to know that. That's a simplicity, right? I need to know that we're together. I need to know that we are a team. We are the twin flame or the soulmate. And if not, I need to know that we're willing to work on it to get it to that certain point, right? So beyond making love, because the problem is that, guys, if you're only leaving making love to your relationship, that is totally on you. And then, when something is not working or something's not going right, and then you're like, oh, it's not the same, and I don't know, it's not, let me think about who this partner is, right? So making love is great. If you're not doing it good, you be careful, and if you're doing it great, keep going, try some new things. But that's not all to love, right? What are the simplicities of love that you need and want? I sometimes really just like taking a bike ride, no destination. Let's just go. If we see something on the way, whatever. But be careful in Taipei, especially on the weekend. It sucks. There's so many times I went out and just tried to ride my bike by myself, tried to find a cafe. I ended up going to like maybe 10 cafes in an afternoon because everything's packed. Can't find anything, right? So beyond making love, what are the simplicities? The other simplicity that I like is playing Sudoku together. Sometimes I like to play Sudoku. My new favorite game is on New York Times. It's a game called Strands. I play this every day right now. It's called Strands. It's like a diagonal crisscross crossword puzzle. It's not the normal up and down. But these are just examples of things that I like to do about the simplicity. Just kind of doing this together, competing. Like, I like to research investing. So I would, if I have a partner, I would say, hey, let's see who invests into what and who has the better, return. Who has the better pay sheet, a dividend. So that is, referencing to my simplicities of love, beyond making love. And ladies and gentlemen, that is episode 7 for Imperfect Us. Remember, please leave your comments and reviews. That's exactly what you want. Thank you.